Oh, yes, it is Monday. It is Monday, and you know what that means? That means it is the Hot Takes House. Yes, the Hot Takes House. If you don't know what the Hot Takes House is, then you are in for a surprise. The Hot Takes House is where the hottest takes from the weekend, we talk about them. Some of them come directly from you guys who sent them in to I'm mad at unafraidshow.com. Appreciate you guys sending them in, and we will get straight to the hot takes. Don't forget to download the podcast. There's a really good one up right now, an interview I did with Rudy Carpenter. It's super good. You guys check it out. It's on iTunes, all of that. But now let's get straight to the Hot Takes House today. First of all, the Major League Baseball has two, not one, but two Game 163s today. What kind of sense does this make? Baseball already plays 162 games. Like, baseball needs 162 games to do what the NFL does in 16 games, the NHL does in 82 games, and the NBA does in 82 games. Why can't they figure out, and then, so they have a playoff game to figure out a playoff seeding. What kind of sense does this make that the baseball needs a playoff to figure out the playoffs, and they already played 162 games? Do you realize how crazy that is, that the Dodgers and the Rockies and the Cubs and the Milwaukee Brewers have to play today to figure out playoff seeding after they've already played 162 games? If you can make that make sense to me, then please try. Because all the other sports can do it. Why does it take baseball that many games? I mean, that's part of the problem with baseball. It's boring. It's slow sometimes, even though I like the game. Too much, guys. Too much. On to the NFL. I had a thought about all these roughing the passer penalties. Everybody's upset about them. Everybody's yelling about them, screaming about them. I'm not in that camp. I've come to the conclusion that all these garbage roughing the passer penalties are actually more, that they're doing more good for the league, and they're actually increasing NFL fan experience. Let me explain to you why. They add one more thing for you to be able to talk smack about to your friends, behind the water cooler, at the barbershop, something else to complain about and talk trash about. Oh, these calls are terrible. It's ruining the game. Listen, it actually enhanced your fan experience because you're talking about the NFL, and they don't have to do anything about the kneeling, the protest, because they're just going to pretend like it doesn't exist and it's going to go away like they should have done from the beginning. So yes, I'm in on these garbage roughing the passer penalties. Even though it's frustrating to watch, it actually increases. It gives us something to talk about. Number two, a legit question that Richard Sherman asked about this. Why don't they just put flags on the quarterbacks? Make them a flag football player inside of a tackle football game. I mean, they would rarely get hit and taken to the ground. Is one more thing you could do to enhance the league and keep your quarterback safe. I mean, but here's the bad part about keeping the quarterback safe is this. How do you find unsung talent and heroes? Tom Brady would not have existed if Drew Bledsoe didn't get hurt. Do you see what I'm saying? There is no Tom Brady without the Drew Brees injury. So why on earth, so there's a negative too. Some of the best quarterbacks have come in because of injury, and then we find out that they're great. Number three, in the Hot Takes House today, the Khalil Mack trade looks even worse for the Raiders right now. Every single week, this dude is the runaway defensive MVP. There is nobody it's not even close. The Raiders look like they got egg on their face. It looked like they got shit on their face every single week with this trade. And then you got to consider, too, the picks that the Raiders are going to get back. The Raiders are not going to get good picks back. They're not going to get top 10 picks. The Raiders are going to get picks somewhere in between 12 and 16. That's not the deal. Come on, man. You traded the dude away and you got to give a second round pick back. The picks are going to be 12 picks apart? You traded the dude for 12 picks? Absolute insanity, John Gruden. Next on the Hot Takes house, Josh Allen. Oh, Buffalo Bills fans, I know you're mad at me right now because I told you so. I told you that last week was an outlier. His good play against the Minnesota Vikings was absolutely an outlier. Like that the team is okay, but they got nothing. They played against the Green Bay Packers and just got blanked. Josh Allen looked awful. Completion percentage terrible, just like I told you guys. Number 5, Fitzmagic is dead. I told you it was coming. Like, it can only last so long. Ryan Fitzpatrick has done this act 5 times already since he's been in the NFL. He comes in. If he's a backup, he will play excellent for you. But the very instant that you name Ryan Fitzpatrick the starting quarterback, the Fitzmagic goes away. Like, if I were Dirk Cutter, I would have said, oh, listen, we're playing this thing week to week. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would be 4-0 right now. I'm telling you, you got to pay attention to this. And VF Castro hates the fact that they named him starting quarterback because she loves Fitzmagic. Sorry, VF. Number 6, Drew Brees. He might be the GOAT. He needs 201 yards next Monday night against Washington to become the league's all-time leading passer. Yes, ahead of Brett Favre, ahead of Dan Marino, ahead of all of them. So why isn't he in your top 10 quarterbacks of all time? Legit question. Next thing, the Steelers, mark my words, the Steelers will cave in on LeVeon Bell. They will cave in on him. Because as soon as they get in real danger of missing the playoffs, soon as Big Ben can't carry him, they're going to have to give in. Oh, George, but they got James Conner. Listen, James Conner was great week 1. He was okay week 2. He's a Fitzmagic of running backs. He's not a guy who can do this long term for you. He's the Fitzmagic of running backs. The Carolina Panthers owner, David Tepper, he may change the NFL. There's an article up on it on the unafraidshow.com. The signing of Eric Reed may be a game changer for the NFL. And maybe guess what? Colin Kaepernick may be next. College football. Number 1. This is a quote from Joel Klatt. Because people were mad at Kelly Bryant during the Clemson game saying he was selfish. He was looking out for himself above the team. That's what you're supposed to do when you're in college and you're not getting paid. He said Kelly Bryant has an opportunity to extend his football life and actually control his own future. And you think it's selfish? Give me a break. 100% agree with you, Joel. There's some videos up there from some tweets of a Michigan running back on a run pass option on a zone read of him faking the ball and then the defender tackling him and then the refs called holding on the running back. What? There's video of this on unafraidshow.com in the Hot Takes house. Absolutely asinine. The original worst football call of the day was Louisville up by 3 with 1 minute and 56 seconds left in the fourth quarter on the Florida State 21-yard line. And they called a pass play instead of a run. The pass got intercepted and Louisville lost in regulation. And I'm sitting there like, why would you run the ball? Why would you pass the ball right there? I mean, like, this was almost the equivalent of the Seattle Seahawks passing the ball from the 1-yard line. I mean, it was bad. Like, you almost got the game in the bag. Like, you can just run 3 plays. They got to burn their timeout. It's going to be seconds left on the clock. Seconds left on the clock. And you can kick a field goal or you can go for it. That way they have to go the whole length of the field. I mean, come on. That was absolutely awful. Oh, man. And that was the original worst play of the day. The actual worst play of the day ended up being in the Ohio State-Penn State game. I mean, it was James Franklin calling a zone read on 4th and 5 for the game. What? I couldn't understand it. It wasn't like that they had no timeouts. Ohio State called timeout. Then Penn State came out, saw the alignment, called timeout again, and then they run a zone read. Why not put it in your quarterback's arms? He's been playing well all day. He's doing good with his feet. In case nothing's there, breaks down, he can move around and get you a first down. This is not a 1-yard play. This was a 5-yard play. Come on, man. Come on. I mean, like, I know he would have been the hero and everybody would have been like, James Franklin is ballsy. He's a genius if he had gotten it. Most times you're not going to get that, though. Come on, James Franklin. Jimbo Fisher. If anybody saw the video of Jimbo Fisher, he absolutely needs to be suspended. Absolutely. Because if the player were to grab his face mask like that, I mean, like, he Bobby Knighted him. If the player were to do that, no other coach in college football would take him. Like, there's no reason for a coach to be getting physical with another player to get his point across. And if you're a coach and you got to get physical with your players to get your point across, you need to find a new profession because you're not doing what you're doing right. Just telling you that right now. And that's the Hot Takes House for today. That is the Hot Takes House for the day. All the articles are up. There's so much. Didn't even get into it all. You guys, please enjoy. Visit unafraidshow.com. Enjoy the articles. Share the articles. Tell a friend about the Unafraid Show. Don't forget to download the podcast as well. We will be back tomorrow. Got a bunch of great things up for you per usual. Peace out. We will catch you guys later.